Hello. So today we are going to study coordinate geometry, right? In the morning, I told you how to calculate the distance formula. So we'll just quickly recap whatever we studied so that, and we can continue from there, right? So I said that this is called x-axis and this is called y-axis. In coordinate geometry, we have four quadrants. We divide a plane into four quadrants. This is first quadrant, this is second quadrant, this is third quadrant, and this is the fourth quadrant, right? So we said that both x and y axis will be positive in the first quadrant, and here your x quadrant will be negative, y will be positive. And the reason is this is 1, 2, 3, this is 1, 2, 3, this is -1, -2, again this is -1, -2, -3. So you can make it. In this case, the first x coordinate will be, if you see here, it will be negative, and y coordinate will also be negative. And in this case, your x coordinate will be positive and y coordinate will be negative. So this is how we study it now. Now we are going to study how to find out the distance of a straight line, and we'll define what exactly is a straight line. Right, so what is a straight line? So straight line is basically a definition of a straight line. So in mathematical terms, we can say straight line is a locus of points, right? If there are multiple points, if you connect all of them, so locus means it is a path, right? When you connect multiple dots, it forms a line. So straight line is called a locus of points. So locus, and plural is loci, right? So locus is singular, loci is plural. So straight line is a path traced by basically multiple points. Right. So what is it extends in both the directions, right? So the difference between line and line segment is, what is a line segment? Line segment is basically a segment, a portion of a line. If you connect two dots A and B, if you combine them, then we call it as a line segment. This is called a line segment. It has a fixed length. Can you measure the length of a line? The answer is no. Why? Because line is something which extends in both the directions. So let's say this is called positive infinity, this is called negative infinity. So line will extend in both the directions. So now we are trying to find out, how do we find out the equation of a line? We are going to study different forms of a line. Right? So first let us understand what is the slope of a line. So what exactly is the slope? So slope means inclination. It's an English word, right? We all have seen that. If you would have seen in the park, right? So you have a slope, right? If a slope is inclined, let's say this is θ1, and another right which is having something like this, θ2. So you can see that this slope is more having I would say higher inclination. This has a lesser inclination. Inclination means it is bent lesser towards the ground, and this is, I would say, this is more. This inclination is more. So we can say that this ride 2 is having higher slope as compared to ride 1. So the more the angle, higher the slope it is, right? Slope means how much the line is inclined towards the ground, right? So what is the, in terms of angle? So if a line is, let's say, making a 30-degree angle, and if a line is making a 60-degree angle, so we'll say that the line which is making 60-degree angle with the ground or with the horizontal direction, we'll say that that line has a higher slope. Now, how do we calculate slope in terms of mathematically? We'll try to understand that. So we have seen that in a right angle triangle, in the trigonometry we have seen, if we have a right angle triangle. So right angle triangle, the biggest angle is 90 degree. The side opposite to the biggest angle is, the biggest angle in a right angle triangle is called hypotenuse. And we call this as a height, this is called perpendicular, or we also call it altitude. And this is called base. So from the trigonometry, the relationship between the sides, we denote it by sine theta, and assume that this angle is called theta. So sine theta is called perpendicular by hypotenuse. So if you take the ratio of perpendicular by hypotenuse, it is called sine theta. What is cos theta? Cos theta is base upon hypotenuse. And what is tan theta? Tan theta is basically perpendicular by base. So this tan theta is also called slope of the line. We denote it by a letter called m, and we also call it slope of the line. So if we know, let's say if a line has made an angle of, let's say, 60 degree with the horizontal direction, then what is the slope of the line? We'll say that m is equal to tan of 60 degree. and both of you have calculators, you know how to calculate the value of tan 60, isn't it? Agrima, you know that how to calculate, right? So you can calculate the value of tan 60. So whatever it is, that will be the slope of the line. If the line is making an angle of, let's say, 45 degree with the ground, then the slope will be m is equal to tan 45. So what is the value of tan 45? It is 1. So slope of the line will be 1. So do not think anything technical, anything complicated. Slope means how much, by what angle the line is inclined with the x-axis. That is called slope of the line. So we can calculate slope of the line if we know what is the angle made by the line with the x-axis. That is one way to find out the slope of a line. Is it clear? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now let's see what are the other ways to find out the slope of a line. So assume that again I'm drawing this x-axis and y-axis. This is your x-axis, this is your y-axis. So I know 2 points, right? So let's say I know any 2 points given on the line. So let's say the first point is A, and I say that its coordinate is x1 comma y1, right? And another point is B, and its coordinate is x2 comma y2. If I note the point here, if I'm using the word x1 y1, that means I'm talking of a particular point. If I say x2 y2, I'm talking of a particular point. If I use the x word xy, so xy is a general point. It can be any point on the line. But if I say x1 y1 or x2 y2 or x3 y3, I mean I'm referring to a particular point on the line. So we have been given 2 points on the line whose coordinates are x1 comma y1 and x2 comma y2. Okay. So how do we found how are we going to find out the slope of a line? So I'm trying to tell you how the slope of a line, how to find the slope of a line. So if this is x1 y1, then this distance will be y1 and this distance is going to be x1. We all know that. And this distance will be y2, and this whole distance is going to be x2, right? So if I try to find out the slope, so that means if I can connect this line like this, this can form a right angle triangle. So this will be a 90 degree, and this angle, if I say if this line is making an angle theta, then we can say that this slope is what we have studied just now. Slope is also called m is equal to tan theta. And because this line, this x-axis and this line both are parallel. So if this angle is theta, this angle will also be theta. Is it clear, Agrima? Okay. Now, how do we find out this? Let's say if I call this point is A, this point is B, and this is C. That means if in this right angle triangle, let's say this is A, this is B, and this is C. So I have to find out the slope of the line. So how do I find the slope of the line? M is equal to tan theta. And we all know what is tan theta. It is perpendicular by hypotenuse. This is perpendicular. This is perpendicular by base. So tan theta will be perpendicular by base, and perpendicular in this case is going to be the distance BC divided by the distance AC. Is it clear, Agrima? Now what is BC? This distance is, you know that this distance is whole is y2 and this distance is y1. So this distance is going to be y2 minus y1, and this distance is whole is x2 and this is x1. So this distance is going to be x2 minus x1. So this BC will be y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Is it clear? Apur, is it clear to you?
Yes.
Okay. So y2 minus, we can say that this is a difference in y coordinate. So I can say delta y divided by delta x. This is called slope of a line, right? So if I extract minus sign out of this common, if I take minus sign out of it, so I can say minus y1 minus y2. I can write like this. Okay, is it clear? If I take minus sign out of it, I can write like this. And again, I can take minus sign out of this. I can write like this, minus x1 minus x2. If I take minus sign common out of the numerator and minus sign common out of the denominator, then I can cancel this. So this also becomes y1 minus y2 upon x1 minus x2. So it doesn't matter, your slope could be y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1, or it could be y1 minus y2 upon x1 minus x2. So basically what we're trying to calculate, we're trying to calculate change in y divided by change in x. Agrima, is it clear to you? So this is called slope of a line. So because this is called basically 2-point slope formula, right? So the first one was, how do you, if we know theta, means inclination of line made with x-axis, then slope is tan theta. Is this clear? And second one is called 2-point slope formula. 2-point slope formula. How do you find out? So in that case, you have to know any 2 points given on the line. So if you know any 2 points given on the line, how do you find out the slope? You will say y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Or we can also say delta y upon delta x. So in order to find delta y or delta x, you have to know minimum 2 points on the line. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Agreement is clear? So that means there are 2 ways to find out slope of a line. The formula number 1, if you know the line made by the angle made by the line with the x-axis, if you know that angle, you can straight away find out the value of tan theta. And the second way to find out the slope of a line is you have to know any 2 given fixed points on the line. If you know 2 points, then you can find out the slope, right? This is called 2-point slope formula. We'll take an example of how to solve this 2-point slope formula. So assume that this A is 1, 2 and B is 3, 4. So this is 1, 2 means this is 1, 2. This is 1, 2. 1, 2 means it will be somewhere here. This is 1, 2. This is A, 1, 2. B is 3, 4. So along x-axis you will have to walk 3 units, and along y-axis you have to walk along 4 units, right? So this is 3 and this is something 4. So this point will be B, which is 3, 4. So you have to find out the slope of this line. How do you find the slope of this line? So it will be delta y upon delta x. So what is delta y? It is y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So this is y2, this is y1. So this will be 4 minus 2 upon x2 minus x1. This is 3 minus 1. So this will be 2 divided by 2, which means this will be slope is 1. Is this clear to you? Apur, is it clear to you? So
Yeah.
that's how you find out the slope. This is called slope of the line. Okay. So we know how to find out the slope of a line. Now let us try to find out different equations of a line. How do you find out the equation of a line? Right. So there are various ways to find out, but first formula is called slope-intercept form. This is called slope-intercept form. So this is called y is equal to mx plus c. If you note here, this m is called slope of the line. So we say m, which is coefficient of x, has to be the slope of the line only if the coefficient of y happens to be 1, right? So if we have an equation like this, y is equal to 2x plus 3, then we can say that slope m, value of m is coefficient of x. In this case, it happens to be 2. Is it clear? Okay, let's take another example. If I have something like 2y is equal to 7x plus 5. In that case, if I say, can you tell me what is the slope of the line? So we have said that slope of the line has to be the coefficient of x. Coefficient of x means anything, if we leave that x, whatever is the next term, that will be the slope of the line. So Agrima, what is going to be the slope of the line in this case? If my line is 2y is equal to 7 plus 7x plus 5. Agrima, you are on mute.
7.
No, you have to look at the carefully. When I say the line has to be in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. In this case, is my equation in the form of y is equal to mx plus c? Is the coefficient of y 1? In this case, coefficient of what is the coefficient of y? Apur, what is the coefficient of y here?
2.
2. Whereas our slope-intercept form says that the coefficient of y has to be 1. So first of all, we have to convert this form to this form. How do I convert that? In order to convert this form to this form, we have to make sure that coefficient of y is 1. So in order to make coefficient of y as 1, we have to divide both the sides by 2. So what do? I divide both the sides by 2. I'll say 2y by 2 is equal to 7x by 2 plus 5 by 2. So this 2 and 2 cancel, and this becomes y is equal to 7x by 2 plus 5 by 2. Now, can we say that this line is of the form y is equal to mx plus c? Agrima, can we say that?
Yes.
Now, what is the slope? What is the value of slope now?
7/2.
So slope is m is equal to 7/2. Is this clear to you? So this is called slope-intercept form, where m is called slope of the line, and this c is called intercept made by the line on y-axis. Is this clear?
Yes.
So if I say y is equal to 2x plus 3, so let us try to plot it. If I have to plot this line, how do I plot it? The easiest way to plot is, we'll always take some value as 0. So let us say if I take the value of x as 0. So let us try to see different values of x and y. Right, so I choose x and y. Let's choose the combination of, let's say if I put value of x as 0 in this case, so it will be y is equal to 2 times 0 plus 3. So my value of y will be what? 2 times 0 is 0 plus 3. So if I put value of x as 0, value of y comes out to be 3. Is this clear? Next is, I'll put value of y as 0 and see what's the value of x. If I put the value of y as 0, that means this becomes, if I put value of y as 0, this becomes 0 is equal to 2x plus 3. So 3 will come this side. This will become minus 3 is equal to 2x, and x will become minus 3/2. So value of x will be minus 3/2 and value of y will be 0. So these are 2 points. If you have to plot the equation of a line, all you need is just 2 points. So if I have to plot this point 0, 3, that means you have to walk 0 units along x-axis and 3 units along y-axis. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Right? So this point will be 0, 3. So if you know this 1 point, you know 1 point. Now you have to plot 1 more point. If you get 2 points of a line, you simply join them and you'll be able to draw the line. So next point is minus 3/2. Minus 3/2 is minus 1.5. So minus 1.5, 0. That means you have to walk minus 1.5. So this is 1 and this is 2. This is minus 1 and this is minus 2. So minus 1.5 will be somewhere here. Minus 1.5, 0. So this is x. You have to walk minus 1.5 units x-axis along x-axis and 0 units along y-axis. That means you have to walk 0 units along y-axis. That means this point will lie on this line itself. So this is point A, this is point B. Simply join this line and this will be your straight line. Is this clear? So if you see this carefully, I said that y is equal to 2x plus 3. That means 3 is what? It's the intercept made by the line on y-axis. So this distance is what? This is 3 units. So y is equal to mx plus c. We said that c is called intercept made by the line on y-axis. So we can see that this distance, this is called intercept made by the line, or you can also call it as a c. So this is y is equal to mx plus c. Is it clear, Apu, to you?
Yes.
Agrima, is it clear to you? 100% clear? So we know that when we say y is equal to mx plus c, then c is called intercept made by the line on y-axis. And m is called slope of the line. And in the previous example, we said that how do we find out the slope? In order to find out the slope, either we need to know the angle made by the line with the x-axis, or we need to know minimum 2 points given on the line. If we know the angle made by the line with the x-axis, then we know that slope is m is equal to tan theta. Or if we know the given 2 points, we can find out the slope using m is equal to delta y by delta x, which is y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Clear?
Yes.
Or is it clear to you?
Yeah.
So this is the first form, which is called slope-intercept form. And we have seen that this, if I write the example like this, that means equation has to be in the form where coefficient of y has to be 1. Then only we can say that whatever is the coefficient of x, that will be called slope of the line. Right? And we saw this example. So we saw that if a line is not in the form of y is equal to mx plus c, then how do we convert that, right? So I showed you. Let's take one more example so that we are very clear with this. So let us say I have an equation like 2x plus 3y minus 4 is equal to 0. This is my equation of a line. So if I say that, find out the slope of the line. So our slope-intercept form is y is equal to mx plus c, right? So how do I convert this line into this format where coefficient of y has to be 1? Then we can say that whatever is the coefficient of x, that will be the slope of the line. So now my problem statement is find out the find out the slope of the line. Agrima, you understood what we are trying to find out? We are trying to find out the slope of the line. How do I find the slope of the line? This is the slope-intercept form, right? So if this is the slope-intercept form, we have to convert this equation to this format. So how do I convert this? My y term should be on the left-hand side, and all the other terms should be on the right-hand side. So if I have to convert this, this is my y term. I'm going to keep it on the left-hand side, and I'll transfer all the terms to the right-hand side. So if you see here, this is -4. If it goes toward the right-hand side, this -4 will become +4. And this is plus 2x. If it goes on the right side, it will become -2x. Is it clear?
Yes.
So this equation will become 3y is equal to, this -4 will go on the right hand side. This will become 4 minus 2x, right? Or maybe I can rearrange it. I can say 3y is equal to -2x plus 4. Now, Agrima, can you tell me what is the slope of this line?
-2/3.
-2/3. Apu, do you agree?
Yes.
So how do I find out? Because still it is not in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. So in order to make this in the format, we have to divide both the sides by 3. So if I divide both the sides by 3, this will become y is equal to -2/3x plus 4/3. So slope will be coefficient of x. So we'll say the value of m is equal to -2/3. And if I ask Apur, what is the intercept of the line made on y-axis? What will be the answer?
y/3. I mean 4/3.
The c will be 4/3. Is this clear to you?
Yes.
So we know that if we have a line in this format, so this is how we find out. Y is equal to mx plus c is called slope-intercept form. Okay. So let us see one more example. So let us say I have my equation in the form of ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. This is the generic form, right? Where a, b, and c are some constants. Constants means some numbers. Something like 2x plus 3y plus 5 is equal to 0. So where value of a will be 2, value of b will be 3, and value of c will be 5. So if I have to tell straight away what is the slope of the line, if the line is of the form ax plus by plus c. So we have to convert this into our standard formula, which is called slope-intercept form, which is y is equal to mx plus c. So how do I convert this into this? So in order to convert this, we have seen that in the last example, we have to keep the term having y on the left hand side and transfer all the terms on the right hand side. Is it clear, Agrima? So how do I do that? I'm going to keep by, and what is going to happen to ax if I transfer to the right hand side? Ax will become, if I transfer this ax to the right hand side, what ax will become, Agrima? Agrima?
-ax.
It will become -ax, and this c will become -c. Now, in order to make this into this format, I have to divide both the sides by b. So this will become y is equal to -a/bx minus c/b. Now, if you see this, now this is exactly in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. So we can say that slope of the line will be m is equal to, Apur, what will be the slope of the line? Minus a/b, right? So in short, if the given equation is of the form ax plus by plus c equals to 0, then slope will be -a/b. So if you have to tell me what is the slope of this line, so you can say that m is equal to, put the minus sign, and what is the value of a? Value of a here is coefficient of x. So it is, Agrima, what is the value of a?
2.
2. And what is the value of b?
3.
3. So m is equal to -2/3. So we can tell the slope of a line if the line is given in the form of ax plus by plus c equals to 0, then slope is m is equal to -a/b. Is this clear, Agrima? Apur, is it clear to you?
Yes.
So let us revise how many ways to find out the slope. So the first one was, if we know line is making angle theta, then we'll say m is equal to tan theta, right? Different ways to find slope. And second one was, we said that when we know 2 points, a x1 comma y1 and b x2 comma y2. Then how do you find our slope? We will say m is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, right? We said that slope intercept form. So if the given line is of the form, if the line is of the form ax plus by plus c equals to 0, then slope will be m is equal to minus a by b. Is this clear to you?
Yes.
Okay, so you can, so basically these are three different ways, and so and we also know that y is equal to mx plus c, right? So if the line is in the form y is equal to mx plus c, then we know that coefficient of x is called slope of the line. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so what I was discussing, Agrima, there are different ways to find slope. If we know the angle made by the line with the x-axis, if it is theta, then we know that m is equal to tan theta is the slope. Oh, you cannot hear me. Okay. Good. So what I said was there are different ways to find out slope of a line. If you know the angle made by the line with the x-axis, then m is equal to tan theta is called slope of the line. How do you find out the tan theta? In a right angle triangle, if you have the biggest angle is 90 degree, the side opposite to the biggest angle is called hypotenuse, and the angle made by the hypotenuse with the x-axis, if it is called theta, and this is called perpendicular, this is called base, then tan theta is called perpendicular divided by base. And if you know any two given points on a line, if you know the coordinates, then how do you find the slope? You'll say difference in y divided by difference in x. Next form is, we said that if the straight line is given in the form of ax plus by c equals to 0, you can calculate the slope by converting that into a slope-intercept form, which is called y is equal to mx plus c. So we derived the formula and we said that slope will be m is equal to minus a by b. We said that if a straight line is having equation 2x plus 3y minus 5 is equal to 0, then straight away we know that the value of a is 2, value of b is 3, and value of c is, what is the value of c, Agrima, here?
minus 5.
Minus 5, and a is 2 and b is 3. So we can straight away say the slope of the line is m is equal to minus a by b. So minus 2 by 3, right? And we already know that slope-intercept form is y is equal to mx plus c. That means coefficient of x will be called slope of the line, and for that coefficient of y has to be 1. And c is called intercept made by the line on y-axis. We all have done it. We understand it really well, right? So we understand this. We also saw how do we plot the equation of a straight line, right? So let us see a few more things. So now the question is, find the equation of a line. Find the equation of a line which passes through points a 1, 2 and b minus 3, 5, right? So the problem statement is we have to find equation of a line which passes through the points a whose coordinate is 1, 2 and b minus 3, 5. So we know that equation of a line using slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form of line, slope-intercept form of line is equal to y is equal to mx plus c. So we'll write like this and we'll call it as a m, right? So we'll say that since one passes through a, which is 1, 2 and b minus 3, 5, so slope of the line will be, so which formula we can apply here? How many points we know here, Agrima?
2.
2 points. So we can apply 2-point slope formula. So which is m is equal to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So we'll say this is y2, this is y1. So it will be 5 minus 2, and this is x2 and this is x1. So this will minus 3 minus 1. So what will be the slope, Agrima?
3 by minus 4.
3 by minus 4. That means minus 3 by 4. So now we'll substitute this into 1. Now equation of line becomes, now 1 becomes, I'm also showing you the working. So 1 becomes y is equal to minus 3 by 4 x plus c, right? So we have we have managed to find out there are two unknowns, M and C. So we have managed to find out the value of M, but the value of C we are yet to find. Right? So we know that because this line number 1 passes through. So I'm going to write in the next line, because how do we write, because there's a shortcut for because, we'll say 3 dots like this, because 1 means I'm simply identifying this straight line by the word 1. So because 1 passes through A, 1 comma 2. So I can use any of the point, because these 2 points, they lie on the line, right? This A and B, both of them, they lie on the line. So I can substitute the value of A or B in this equation. So because I say, because this 1 passes through A, 1 comma 2, so I'll say substituting. This is very important. You have to show working in your exam also. Substituting the value of A in 1. Now what will happen? Sorry, substituting the value. Let's call it as a 2. So substituting the value of A in 2, right? And instead of 1, now I am saying that where I need to substitute the value, because this is now derived value. I have to substitute the value of M with minus 3 by 4. So now I need to substitute the value of A 1 comma 2 in this 2. So I'm saying because 1 passes through A 1 comma 2, substituting the value of A in 2. 2 means I am substituting the value in this equation. Apur, is it clear to you?
Yes.
Agrima, it is clear to you? Now we'll say that y is, so Ax, value of x is 1, y is 2. So this y will be 2. So this y is equal to 2 is equal to minus 3 by 4, and value of x is 1 plus c. So this becomes, if you solve it, 2 is equal to minus 3 by 4 plus c. So this minus 3 by 4 will come on the left hand side. This will become 2 plus 3 by 4 is equal to c. So 2 plus 3 by 4 will become how much? 2 times 4 is 8. It will become, c will become 11 by 4. You can calculate it. So value of c is 11 by 4. So now your 2 becomes, y is equal to minus 3 by 4 x plus, what is the value of c? It is
11 by 4.
11 by 4. So this is my equation of line. Is this clear to you, Agrima? Apur, is it clear to you?
Yes.
So what did we do? We said that find the equation of a line which passes through 2 points, A 1, 2, B minus 3, 5. So because we were given 2 points, we already know the 2-point slope formula. So first we started with the line y is equal to mx plus c. We found out the value of m. How do you find the value of m? Because 2 points are given, we can straight away find out the slope, y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So this is how we calculate the value of m, and then we substitute the value back into equation number 1. So this is how you have to show the working in the exam. If you're not showing the working in the exam, you will not get the full marks. Is it clear to you, Apur?
Yes.
So you don't have to write the full, I mean, you can use this kind of shortcuts, like I'm using 1, 2. Basically, I'm using this 1, 2 to completely identify this whole line, right? If I simply write 1, that means it understands 1 means I have written because for you have to write 3 dots, because 1 passes through. So this 1 means I'm referring to this line, because 1 passes through A 1, 2, substituting the value of A in 2. So this 2 is what? 2 is a derived value, right? So then we can substitute the value, and that's how we have to show the working. Agrima, is it clear to you? 100% clear, Apur?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Now let us try to solve the equation. So let's try to understand how to find out the slope, right? So we also said that let's understand slope of a line. How do you find out the slope of a line? So let's try to find out the slope of x-axis. X-axis is also what? It's also straight line, and this is y-axis, right? So if I have to find out the slope of x-axis, so what is the angle made by x-axis with x-axis? So let's say this is the x-axis, and if I say, and this is x-axis. So what is the angle between x-axis with itself? What angle it is making? How many degrees?
0.
0 degree, right? So our slope formula is m is equal to tan theta. So this value of theta is 0 here. So this will become tan 0. So if you put the value in calculator, tan 0, it will come out to be 0, right? So slope of this x-axis will be what? If I say that y is equal to mx plus c. So what is the value of m? M, it becomes 0. If m is 0, what is the value of c? C is the intercept made by the line on y-axis. So how much is the intercept made by the line on y-axis? we said that if this height is, let's say 1, then we say it has made an intercept of 1. But x-axis is passing through this line. So what is the value of this intercept? It is, Agrima? If a line, let's say if this value is 2, then we say that the intercept made by the line on the y-axis is 2. But let's say if I keep on decreasing it, and if it becomes like this, so what is the intercept made by the x-axis on y-axis? It is decreasing, right? So this becomes absolutely what, Apur?
0.
0. So value of m is 0 and c is 0. So both is 0. So this will become y is equal to 0. So this is the equation of x-axis. Is this clear to you, Agrima?
No.
No, not clear. Okay. If I say that if this is the line number 1, if line number 1, if this distance is 2, then what is the intercept made by the line on y-axis?
2.
Okay. If this distance is 1, so what is the intercept made by the line on y-axis? If this distance is 1, then what is the distance? What is the intercept made by the line on y-axis?
1.
1. If I further reduce it and make it like this, now what is the intercept made by the line on y-axis?
0.
0. So x-axis, what is the intercept made by the x-axis on y-axis?
0.
0. So what is c? C is called the intercept made by the line on y-axis. So the intercept made by the line x-axis on y-axis will be 0. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what is the value of m? M is tan theta. We said that theta is 0. So slope will also, m is also 0 and c is also 0. So 0 times x plus 0. So this becomes y is equal to 0. Is it clear?
Yes.
So we can say that the equation of x-axis is y is equal to 0. Is it clear? Otherwise also, if you notice here, which coordinate always remains 0? If you see the value of x-axis, the only coordinate on x-axis will, the y coordinate will always be 0, right? Doesn't matter which point you choose. If you choose this point, its coordinate will be 1, 0. If you choose this point, it will be 2, 0. If you choose this point, its coordinate will be 3, 0. If you choose this point, its coordinate will be 4, 0. That means the value of y coordinate is always going to be 0 in the x-axis. So equation of x-axis is going to be y is equal to 0. Is it clear?
Yes.
Apur, is it clear to you?
Yeah.
Now one important point. Let's say if I am trying to find out equation of a line which is parallel to x-axis, right? So let us say I'm trying to find out this is the line. This is parallel to x-axis, and let's say this distance is k, where k is some integer, right? K is some integer. It could be k, could be 1, 2, 3, or it could be -5. It could be anything. So now what is going to be the equation? What is the slope of this line? Because this is a line which is parallel to x-axis. So angle made by this line with x-axis. How much is the angle made by this line with the x-axis?
0.
0 degrees. So its slope will also be 0. What is the intercept made by the line on y-axis?
Okay.
K. So then equation will become y is equal to, this slope is 0, x, so 0 times x is 0, k. So y is equal to k. So this becomes equation of a line which is parallel to x-axis. Is this clear to you, Agrima? Apur, is it clear to you?
Yes.
So equation of a line which is parallel to x-axis will be of the form y is equal to k, where k could be some integer 1, 2, 3. K could also be 0. If k is 0, then this becomes equation of x-axis. Is this clear, Agrima? Apur, is it clear to you?
Yes.
Now let us see equation of y-axis. So if I see this point, the only coordinate which always remains 0 on y-axis will be, let's say if I am talking about this point, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. If I have to say the coordinate of this point, so first I will specify the x coordinate. So x coordinate will be 0 because I have not moved anything along the x-axis. What is the value of y coordinate? This is 1. This will be 0, 2. This will be 0, 3. So the only coordinate which remains constant throughout this line is x coordinate, and it remains 0. So equation of y-axis will always be of the form x equals to 0. Is it clear to you, Grima? Apo, is it clear to you?
Yes.
So the best trick to remember is equation of x-axis will be of the form, if it is x, this will be y is equal to 0. And equation of y-axis will be of the form, because if it is y, it will be x equals to 0. And if I have to find equation of a line which is parallel to x-axis, this will be of the form of y is equal to k. This is equation of line parallel to x-axis. So how do we show parallel lines? We have to draw these two vertical lines. This is how we say that. If I say line A is parallel to line B, so I'll say line A parallel to line B. So in your exam, if you write like this, this is perfectly valid, right? So you don't have to write the full statement that equation of line is parallel to. If you simply draw two parallel lines, it's a shorthand way to denote that you are trying to indicate that this line A is parallel to line B. Is it clear? So this will save you a lot of time. Similarly, if you are trying to say that equation of a line which is parallel to y-axis, so equation of line parallel to y-axis, and assume that this distance is k. So what is going to happen? This will be always of the form x is equal to k. Is it clear to you, Apur?
Yeah.
Agrima, is it clear to you? So we have, I did not tell you that you have to remember it. We derived this formula. How did we derive it? We said y is equal to mx plus c. Right. Similarly, we can derive this, how the value of this equation comes to be x equals 0. Let's say we'll use the same slope-intercept y is equal to mx plus c. So what is the angle made by the line y-axis with x-axis? How much angle it is making with x-axis? How much is this angle?
90 degrees.
90 degree, right? So if you try to find out the value of tan 90, this will be infinite. It will be a very, very huge number. If you try to do in the calculator, it will give you an infinite. A very tan 90 is infinite. It's a very huge number. So y is equal to, or we can also say this is something called 1 by 0. So this will become mx plus c. So that means this will be infinite. So y is equal to something very infinite, very huge number plus c, right? So it will be something like this. Y is equal to 1 by 0 x plus c, right? So 1 by 0. Okay, well, let's not. So this will be 1 by 0 plus x by c by 1. So this is going to become, this c will go on that side. So this will become y is equal to minus c. Sorry. Okay, let's not confuse it. Let's try to remember it like this. If you put the value of this, tan 90 is 1 by 0. So 1 by 0 means if I say that y is equal to x times 0 plus c. So this 0, this c will go on that side. This will become y minus c is equal to x by 0. So this 0 times y minus c, if you multiply it, this will become y minus c times 0 is equal to x. So this y minus c times 0 will become 0 and x equals 0. This will become equation of y-axis. Is it clear to you, Grima? Apur, is it clear to you?
Yes.
So we know that how do you find the equation of y-axis. We also saw how do you find out equation of x-axis. We also saw how to find out equation of a line which is parallel to x-axis. We also saw how to find equation of a line which is parallel to y-axis. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now there is one more form which is called intercept form. Intercept form of line. So what is this intercept form of line? So if I have a straight line like this, let's say, so this is, let's say this distance is called a. That means intercept made by the line on x-axis is a and intercept made by the line on y-axis is b. So if this distance is a, so what is the coordinate of this point, Agrima? What will be the point of this point? This will be, can you tell me what's the x coordinate and y coordinate?
A by 0.
No, not a by 0, a comma 0. When we say coordinate means you have to say the x coordinate and y coordinate. So x coordinate distance traveled along the x-axis and distance traveled along the y-axis will be 0. Apur, can you tell me what is the coordinate of this point?
0, comma b.
0, comma b. So now we know 2 points, and if we know 2 points on a line, we can apply 2-point slope formula to find out the equation of a line, right? So how do you find out the equation of a line? We'll say y is equal to mx plus c. right? So if we have if we have a condition like this where we say that intercept made by the line on x-axis is a units and intercept made by the line on y-axis is b units, then equation of line becomes x by a plus y by b is equal to 1. And we can prove that basically. How do we find out? How do we derive this equation? We'll derive using this equation. If I have to find a slope, how do I find the slope? Slope is y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So here we know 2 points a, x1 y1, and this is x2 y2. So if I have to say that x2 y2 minus y1, so this will be 0 minus b upon a minus 0. So this will become minus b times a. So your slope becomes minus b times a. Is it correct? Now what do? I can apply. I can say that this is called 1. I can substitute the value of m in this. So substituting, I call it as a 2. So substitute 2 in 1. So I'm substituting this 2 in 1. So this y will become y is equal to minus b by a x plus c. Now we know that how many points we already know on this line? We know 2 points, a and b. So let me call it as a 3. Right? So because I will write here, because means 3 dots. 3 passes through. 3 passes through a, which is a comma 0. So we can substitute the value of a comma 0 in 3. So substitute a comma 0 in 3. Is this clear to you, Apur?
Yes.
So we'll put here, so we'll say value of y is 0 and x is a. So 0 is equal to minus b by a times this is a. Let me make it very clear. This is a. So a times a plus c. So a times a is cancelled. So c will become what? C will become 0 is equal to minus b plus c. So c becomes b. And we also know from this, from our previous concept, c is what? Intercept made by the line on y-axis. So we know that c is equal to b. So this becomes y is equal to minus b by a x plus value is b. Is this clear to you?
Yes.
So now if I try to substitute this, if I want to convert this into this format. So basically I'm trying to say that if we have an equation of a line, if we have a line like this whose intercept made by the line on x-axis is a units and intercept made by the line on y-axis is b units, then straight line is of the form, this form, right? We can say that it is x by a plus y by b is equal to form. I am trying to prove that. How do we arrive at this formula? So we have, this is your equation number 4 now. So I am going to rearrange this and I'll try to convert this into this format. So if you see here, if I divide both the sides by b, so I'll say divide equation 4 by b. If I divide b, what is going to happen? This will become y by b is equal to minus b by a times x into times b plus b by b. Is this clear to you, Agrima? I'm simply dividing both sides by b. So here by b by b. So this b and b is going to cancel. And this will become y by b is equal to, this is minus times x by a. And plus b times b is 1. This will become 1. So this is minus x by a. So if it goes on the left hand side, minus x by a will become plus x by a. So this is going to become x by a plus y by b is equal to 1. And we said that this is the formula. So we have proved this. We have proven this. Apur, is it clear to you?
Yes.
Agrima, is it clear to you? 100%? So let us understand once again what did I prove. So I said that if I have a straight line which makes x intercept of a units along x-axis and intercept of b units along y-axis, then we said that equation of a line is of the form x by a plus y by b is equal to 1. Right? So I said that I have to prove that this is the equation of line. How do I prove that? I know that if the line has made an intercept of a units along x-axis, I can find out the coordinate of this point a, which is a comma 0. If I know the line has made an intercept of b units along y-axis, I can find the coordinates of point b. It will be 0 comma b. So now I know 2 points, and if I know 2 points, I can find out the slope of a line using basically 2-point slope formula. So we have found the slope is minus b by a. Then we substitute this minus b by a in this equation, right? You can say that substituting 2 in 1. If you notice carefully, if this question comes in the exam, so you have to show the working. And how, if I have not written very big English statements, all I have written is simple statements, 1, 2, 3, 4, substituting 2 in 1, substituting 3 in 1, something like this. So you have to write like this. You found the slope using 2-point slope formula is m is equal to minus b by a, and then I'm saying substituting 2 in 1. So substituting 2 in 1. So this becomes minus b by ax plus c. And then we saw that because I know 2 points, so I can substitute any of the points in this line to find out the value of c. So we found the value of c as b, right? So able to find the value of c as b, then we need to rearrange and divide both the sides by b, and we arrived at this formula. Is this clear to both of you?
Yes.
Right. So we have studied so many things. So let us, it means that, let's say if I say that 2x plus 3y minus 4 is equal to 0, right? So if I say find the intercepts made by line on x-axis and y-axis. So how do you find out? So we know that intercept form is of the form x by a plus y by b is equal to 1. So if we know if our line is of this format, we can straight away tell the value of a and b. But is this equation in this form?
No.
No. So if you have to convert this form to this form, how can I convert that? Basically, I can divide both the sides by 2. So this coefficient of x will become 1. So if I call it as a 1, I'll say divide 1 by 2. By 2 on both sides. So first of all, this minus 4 has to go on the right hand side because this has to become 1. So this will become 2x. This will become 2x by 2 plus 3y by 2. And this minus 4 will go on the right hand side. This will become 4 by 2. So 2 se 2 cancel. And this will become x plus 3y by 2 is equal to 2. Now, can you say that coefficient of x is 1 by a? So the answer is the denominator of nothing. We can say that the value of a is 1. But what is the coefficient of y? It has to be 1 by b. So what is the coefficient of y here? Apur, what is the coefficient of y here? It's 3 by 2. It's 3 by 2. So we can say that 1 by b is equal to 3 by 2. Is this clear?
Okay.
Agrima, is it clear?
Yes.
So and what is 1 by a? 1 by a is 1 by 1, right? So the value of a is straight away we can say it is 1. But what is the value of b? Because 1 by b is 3 by 2, so b will be 2 by 3. How do you find out? We cross multiply, right? So b times 3 is equal to 2 times 1, and b is equal to 2 by 3. So if b is 2 by 3, a is 1. So we can say that intercept made by the line on x-axis is 1, and intercept made by the line on y-axis is 2 by 3. Is this clear to you, Apur?
Yes.
Agrima, is it clear to you?
Yes.
So this is one way to find out. There could be another way also. What is the other way? Let's try to find out the other way. How do we find out the intercept made by the line on x-axis and y-axis? So we know that. Let me rub this off. If I have to find out what is the intercept made by the line on x-axis and y-axis, which means that I need to find out the point where this line intersects the x-axis, right? So let's say this line is intersecting like this. If I know that it intersects the x-axis at some point, so if I know this value, I can find out this distance, isn't it? If I know where exactly this line intersects the y-axis, so I will be able to find out this distance. So that's all I need to find out. Apu, is it clear to you?
Yes.
So if you have to find out the intercept made by the line on x-axis, we know for sure wherever the line will intersect the x-axis, the value of y coordinate will always be 0 here, isn't it? And wherever the line is going to intersect the x-axis, the value of x is always going to be 0, right? So if at all I have to find out, the other way could be, we can say that to find, I'm trying to show you the working, to find point of intersection of line. I'm not going to try of 1 with x-axis. To find point of intersection of 1 with x-axis, put y is equal to 0 in 1. That means we are going to substitute y is equal to 0 in 1. So if I put y is equal to 0 in 1, what is going to happen? We can find the value of x. Apur, is it clear to you?
Yes.
So you don't have to write the whole statement. As you see that I have written 1. So wherever I write 1 means I am referring to this line. So I'll say that I'll simply say write 2x plus 3 times 0 minus 4 is equal to 0. So this will become 2x, this will become 0. Minus 4 will go on the right hand side. This will become 4. And x equals to 4 by 2, which is 2. So value of x is 2, which means that this is value is 2 and y is 0. So if this is 2, y is 0, that means we know that intercept made by the line on x-axis is definitely 2. Is it clear, Apur?
Yes.
Agrima, is it clear? Similarly, we'll say that to find point of intersection of 1 with y-axis. What do we put? Apur, what will you put?
X is equal to 0.
We'll put x equals to 0 in 1. Is it clear? Agrima, is it clear? Now we are going to put this. This will be 2 times 0 plus 3y minus 4 is equal to 0. So this will become 0. So 3y is equal to 4 and y is equal to 4 by 3. So b will become 4 by 3. Is it clear? So this is also another way to find out the intercept made by the line on x-axis and y-axis. Clear with me so far?
Yes.
Right. So we are going to conclude the class here itself, and tomorrow we'll have another class where we are going to discuss how do we find out the equation of a parallel line or a perpendicular line. Okay. So thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow then.